For the past 2 episodes, we've been looking at Joseph and the kind of man that he was, and how he was so faithful in a variety of circumstances to still do the right thing, even when it was injustice after injustice after injustice that was sent his way. He remained faithful and he served very diligently. And I think you have to have a really good connection with the Lord in order to do that, because most of us would just flip out and go, oh my gosh, like this is just, it's wrong, and I have the right now in order to get even or to be ugly because I've been so victimized. But Joseph doesn't do that. In fact, we see that even after he is promoted to the second in command of Egypt, a very powerful nation at the time, he still maintains his integrity and he still does things honorably. But then the plot thickens a little bit in today's reading, in today's episode, because we see that his brothers all of a sudden are feeling the effects of the famine that was foretold in Pharaoh's dream. So it's been a couple years in, and the land is running out of food. And even though, because of Joseph's wisdom, Egypt had stored up an abundance of grain and abundance of supplies in order to be there for the people and to sell it to the people, those outskirt areas are now starting to feel the burden. They have not had successful crops. And part of the people in those outskirt areas are Joseph's family. His father, Jacob or Israel, and his brothers, the very ones that sold him into slavery. And so they now are traveling to Egypt in order to get food. And who do you think they run into but the man who's second in command in Egypt? They run into Joseph. And I just imagine what that would be like. I mean, they didn't recognize him, but could you imagine the moment that Joseph recognizes them? And, you know, we see in all these movies and stuff where it's like this aha moment, like, I've got you, you're now at my mercy. But Joseph doesn't do that with his brothers. Now, he does test them, and we're going to see that he's trying to get to their heart and getting to a position where there's almost a sense of accountability to the past, but he doesn't treat them cruelly for the sake of treating them cruelly for revenge. And we can see that the brother's conscience is pricked a couple of times throughout this story. But something I want to spend a little bit of time on is the fact that Joseph is emotional about it. We can see in verse 24 of chapter 42, he says he began to weep. Like, what would that be like? He's emotional. He still feels what happened to him. And it wasn't without weight. Like, Joseph is not just a superhero who's unfeeling and numb. He paid a great cost to remain faithful, and we can see some of that cost in today's episode. And that's where we're going to leave it for today. We're going to see what their interactions are like in the next couple of episodes.